You know that feeling when you're doing everything right, being kind, respectful, and still. It feels like you're invisible? Let me tell you, you're not the only one. Today I'm going to share why some girls seem to prefer bad boys over nice guys. Trust me, this is something every guy needs to hear. This video is about how girls often don't like good guys. Girls only want attention from good guys, which is why they give hints to make these guys revolve around them like servants. However, they are actually attracted to those who are labeled as bad boys, the ones with a dominant and strong personality. Because of this, some boys have responded by saying there's no point in being good. So it's better to live like a bad boy. If a good guy decides to become bad after hearing all this, there's no bigger slave than him. Someone who sells his goodness just for girls. Such a person isn't a man. He's just a headache for girls. I had so much more to say. If a guy understands it, he will realize what kind of attitude he should have towards girls in his life. That's why I want you to watch this video in its entirety, because after doing so, you'll avoid all the pain that a girl might cause you. We've seen in movies that girls never approach guys. It's always the guys who have to make the first move. But I have a slightly different perspective. I think girls have been conditioned for years to be shy and have been taught not to talk to boys. They're told to protect their dignity and keep their eyes down. On the other hand, boys have been given the freedom to do whatever they want. So now, both boys and girls want to talk. But because of a girl's deep-rooted conditioning, she doesn't approach the guy. Eventually, when the guy realizes that she's not going to make a move, he thinks, she's not coming, so I'll have to go. And this has become the norm, that the guy always has to approach. But even now, when girls have more freedom, most of them still don't initiate conversations with guys. This happens because the norm has now turned into a belief. It's assumed that girls won't approach, and it's the guy's responsibility to make it. Because this belief has a different effect on the minds of guys. They start to feel that girls don't need them at all. They think if they don't approach girls, the girls won't even care to notice them. So what happens now is that on one hand, a guy's body tells him to go and talk to her, but on the other hand, girls never take the initiative. The guy then believes that if he wants to fulfill his desires, he'll have to swallow his pride and go talk to her. This mindset makes girls a huge deal in the guy's mind, a godly figure. You'll become her servant, cry for her, lose your appetite when she ignores you, and even be ready to die for her. And in this entire process, you'll go through pain that you don't deserve to endure. So listen carefully to what I'm saying. She is not a god, she is not a goddess. There are layers of lies in front of your eyes. Remove those layers and see that the same clay that made you also made her. She also gets restless. She also cries. It's just that her body has certain charms that attract your eyes. Or to put it another way, our eyes are easily mesmerized by what they see happening in front of them. There's something that attracts our eyes. Or we could say that our eyes are enchanted by what they see right before them. At the same time, when we notice that the needs of our body belong solely to us and not to the girl, it creates a feeling within us that we aren't significant enough for her to require us. This leads to her becoming highly important in our view, and we begin to feel smaller, which further amplifies our attraction towards her. That's why, after hearing what I'm about to tell you, your attraction will diminish. If you think that the girl is made from the same soil as you, then just as you experience gas in your stomach, she experiences it too. If you don't bathe for 4 days, you start to smell bad, and so does she. I'm mentioning all these things so that you can step out of your imagination and see reality as it is. When you start seeing her as a human being, only then will you be able to communicate with her effectively. Stop imagining. There's a very effective way to determine whether your attraction is to her body or to her qualities and virtues. Whenever you find a girl extremely attractive and wish she could be yours, ask yourself this question: would I even enjoy talking to this girl? If this girl were a boy, would you still feel the same? The moment you pose this question, all your infatuation will vanish. You will start seeing the girl as a person, rather than as something to consume. And if you feel that your attraction to her slightly fades after asking this question, understand that you were attracted to her body, and your body was using you for its own purposes. Friends, what I'm sharing here is general advice. These things apply to everyone. Dear friends, no girl is inherently beautiful, and no boy is inherently handsome. They are just as nature has shaped them. It's our sexual desire that makes someone appear beautiful to us. What seems beautiful to us might not be attractive to a dog or an elephant. It's only attractive to us because something within us is causing the other person to appear beautiful. Some people are dark-skinned, some are fair-skinned, some are tall, some are short, some are thin, some are fat. People are as they are. It's we who make distinctions and label someone as good or bad. So understand that there's nothing in the person in front of you. It's all in your perception. As soon as something seems appealing, immediately look within yourself to find what has placed the veil of illusion before your eyes. The one who casts this veil is either your body or the conditioning you've received from society. Point number 4. Let me share something very interesting. If you want to ruin your mental health, start by trying to learn everything about the girl you find attractive. Where she lives, what she does, how many friends she has, whom she meets. And if she's your girlfriend, get her Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Telegram passwords and constantly monitor them. As soon as you begin doing this, your appearance will start deteriorating. You'll become irritable at every little thing and won't be able to perform any tasks properly. Dark circles will form under your eyes because you might not be sleeping well at night. This happens because if you're single and want to get close to a girl, you lack the courage to approach her and talk to her like a fellow human being. That's why you choose the easiest way to get close to her, by trying to know everything about her. The more you know about her, the more she'll occupy your mind. And the more she occupies your mind, the more you'll desire her. And the more you desire her, the more pain you'll experience. Even if you manage to get that girl, the pain of not having her might go away, but a new pain will take its place, the fear of losing her. And driven by this fear, you'll take her Insta, Facebook, and WhatsApp passwords to check if she's being unfaithful. Now, even though she might not be doing anything wrong, you'll start questioning every little thing. Why did you reply to him? Why did you talk to him? Why did you follow him? These things will keep you awake at night. Your entire life will begin to revolve around this, and this is why you'll turn into a toxic person. The mindset you should adopt is that what's truly yours can never leave you, and what leaves you was never yours to begin with. That's why it shouldn't matter whether someone enters or exits your life. You are so complete within yourself that whether someone comes or goes, it doesn't affect your completeness. If you start thinking this way, you'll save yourself from becoming a toxic person. Would you like to keep her tied down? Would you always keep an eye on her, afraid that she might drift away from you? This happens because you are receiving something from that girl, whether it's emotional support, physical pleasure, or just someone to spend time with. If she were to leave, you'd feel like you have nothing left, no purpose to live for. To avoid this emptiness, you try to hold on to her, keeping her bound to you. If I were to explain it in my own words, I'd say that you've cultivated an addiction in your life. An addiction that, if taken away from you, would leave you feeling restless and desperate. You'd start to cry. That's why I'm telling you, if you want to keep yourself whole, don't make a girl the center of your life. Make your work the center, because your work connects you to your life and keeps you away from such addictions. But if you don't make your work the center of your life, then it's very likely you'll bring a girl into your life as an addiction. People around you often say that you're missing out on something big in life if you don't have a girlfriend. On one hand, society pressures you with questions like, why don't you have a girlfriend? On the other hand, they tell you that you'll only find a good girl if you have money or a government job. In this situation, a person either starts looking for a girlfriend if they're confident in their appearance, or they start preparing for a job, driven by the hope of securing a good dowry or a good match. But if your motivation for studying is just to gain physical pleasure or societal validation, then you'll never truly focus on your studies. Many guys start chasing after a girlfriend when they're 16 or 17, thinking either they need a girl or they need to do something to get a girl. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, boys change themselves to attract girls. They go to the gym thinking that if their body looks good, girls will be attracted to them. They choose jobs that will help them marry a good girl. Family members even taunt them, saying, if you don't get a good job, no girl will marry you. As a result, boys move forward in life with the wrong mindset, leading to outcomes where they either get very little, or when they do get something, they realize it wasn't what they really wanted. Listen carefully. Stop chasing. First, stop chasing after girls, especially those who see themselves as rewards for hardworking men. As I mentioned before, if a boy's goal in life is just to get a girl, then he'll either try to get a girlfriend or chase after preparation. In both cases, the mindset remains the same, to get a beautiful girl. One guy is willing to work hard for her, while the other wants to take shortcuts and get her with less effort. Both of these guys will end up in the same trap because their mindset is centered on getting a girl. In either case, they'll end up choosing the wrong girl. They'll choose a girl who is extremely beautiful, childish in her thinking, and possibly even a daddy's girl. She'll be very body identified, obsessed with makeup and looking beautiful, and will be highly emotional, crying at the smallest things. This girl will be soft physically, with no concern for strength or stamina, because that's what boys are looking for. It doesn't take much effort to become this way. There's no need to study hard or do much. Just stay beautiful so that some government job holder comes and takes her away. If you don't believe me, Ask yourself, don't you want a girl like that? Because such girls are easy to control, easy to manipulate. But here's the trap. The guy who's working hard to get this girl has very little chance of actually getting her. And even if he does, she'll drive him crazy because he chose a girl like that. And the guy who gets her without much effort won't stay with her for long, because as soon as she finds someone with a government job, she'll leave with him. That's why I'm telling you, stop chasing. But now the question arises, what should you do then? The purpose of a boy's life cannot be a girl, just as the purpose of a girl's life cannot be a boy. This rule that says a girl is made for a boy and a boy is made for a girl applies to animals, not humans. The purpose of our lives is to free ourselves from our sufferings and bonds, not to create more. If someone helps us rise above, helps us free ourselves from suffering, then we'll stay with them. But not because they become our life's support and we get addicted to them. There's another point related to this. We all feel incomplete, like something is missing within us that we need to fill. That's why we constantly feel restless. And to fill this emptiness, we bring a girl into our lives. After she enters our lives for a brief moment, it feels like our emptiness is gone. But that's not true. The emptiness only grows, but we still don't stop. We start bringing more things into our lives. We never pause to ask why we feel incomplete. Who within us feels incomplete? We just keep filling our lives with new things. Understand one thing clearly. No girl can make you whole. If you want to feel complete from within, there's only one way to do it, and that's through self-knowledge, knowing yourself. When you know yourself, the part of you that felt incomplete dissolves. Because when you know your true nature, when you know your soul, you become one with your soul.